2015. He was awarded the Diploma of National Board in General Medicine from Baby Memorial Hospital, Calicut in 2019 and received Doctorate of National Board, which is super specialty degree in medicine awarded by National Board of Examinations in Medical Sciences from Deenanath Mangeshkar Hospital, Pune in 2023. He is currently working as medical oncologist at Sri Shankara Cancer Hospital and Research Center, Bengaluru. He has 10 PubMed indexed publications and published 1 original research articles, presented 2 original research works in national conferences. He has won Best Oral Presentation Award in breast cancer category at the Oncology Conference Series Dr. Awarness Legendary Oncology in 2021. He has won silver medal for oral presentation on lung cancer at the annual conference organized by the Indian Society of Medical and Pediatric Oncology 2022. He has won travel grant for original research in geriatric oncology at the Indian Cancer Congress in 2023. So his research interests are geriatric oncology, metronomic chemotherapy, and lung cancer. So besides patient care, he is also passionate about teaching younger medical oncologists via Indian Society of Medical and Pediatric Oncology Forum. So we are very happy and grateful to have you with us today, sir. I welcome you to this program. So we have S.G. Raya Bhattanavar, sir. He is working as coordinator in the Department of Oncology, Sri Shankara National Center for Cancer Prevention and Research for the last 4 years. He worked for 39 years at Tata Memorial Hospital, a cancer hospital in Mumbai. We welcome you, sir. Thank you.
Now I'd like to request our principal, Dr. D. Jaidevappa, and NSS officer, Mr. Chinni Krishna, to kindly come forward and felicitate our guest.
Srinivasa sir.
A small token of appreciation for Mr. S.G. Raya Bhattanavar also. With that, we are all set to move into the session. I invite Dr. R.N. Supreet to take over.
ಇದು ಹೇಗೆ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡೋದು?
ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮೈಕ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ ಅಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು?
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮೈಕ್ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೋದು. ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮೈಕ್ ವುಡ್ ಬಿ ಈವನ್ ಈಸಿ.
ಈ ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ
ಎರಡು ಕರೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲ?
Hello, good evening all. Uh, First of all, I thank the National College and NSS team for giving me this wonderful opportunity to educate some of the youngsters about how our lifestyle defines our risk of developing cancer. Since I'm an oncologist, obviously I would speak about cancer. So what do you understand by lifestyle? Can anybody tell me? Let's keep this two-way interactive rather than just me giving the speech. You, mic could hear. So I want some student to volunteer to answer some of my questions. This is not some exam viva. This is not something that has any marks. You can just freely interact, ask your doubts, and find out something that is things that are related to lifestyle and cancer. So, who would want to answer this question? What do you understand by lifestyle? Feel free to answer whatever it is. Yeah, what is lifestyle? You can hand over to anybody. You have to volunteer. See, unless you lose that fear of interacting with people, you will never, grow beyond your boundaries. You can give the first row. Yeah.
So, according to me, lifestyle is something we need to like is something that we lead in a timetable, as what I know.
Simply the way of our lives.
So, yes, sir. It's a way of
So-
life in a timetable, and we go through it in a particular way.
Yeah. So, what do you think are the important parameters that come under lifestyle?
Important parameters under lifestyle is basically the basic things of life, like sir, we intake food, like
correct.
and we should have sleep, and we need to consume water, and these are the basic
So, these are
importance.
dietary habits.
Yeah.
Are there any other
Yes.
aspects to way of life?
Yes, sir. Like sleep, work, and yeah.
Wonderful. So, give him a round of applause for his answer. So, he has given some of the relevant answers. So, basically, lifestyle is the way we live our lives, be it our eating habits, our drinking habits, our hobbies, our work, sleep habits. All these are a part of our lifestyle. So, these are just some of the statistics. Some of it is scientific. You need not try to understand and imbibe everything into your mind. This is just to set a perspective about what we are going to discuss today. So, this is demographic transition. I know you are all engineering students, you would not be exposed to concepts like this, but what this briefly says is that any country will have five phases of demographic cycle. In the initial phase, both the birth rate and death rate will be high, which used to be the India in 1800s and 1900s. Both a lot of people used to take birth, lot of people used to die. So both used to be very high. That is stage one. Then comes stage two, where you have a very high birth rate, but the death rate falls rapidly. That happens because of various reasons. One, people develop that awareness about maintaining healthy lifestyle. You get access to better medical facilities. So hospitals are established. You have clinics accessible to you nearby your home, so that if there is anything that is serious, you can get timely medical care. So the reason why you see a steep fall in death rates. Then comes stage 3, which is kind of a stage of stagnation, wherein you have birth rates which are falling. This happens because people become more aware about controlling, which is the phase that we are in currently. People become more aware about controlling the birth rates for flourishing both economically as well as socially, uh, and also death rates fall more slowly. This happens because you have adopted certain healthy lifestyle. As I said earlier, during phase 2, you have better access to healthcare now, so people live longer and people tend to live better. The reason why you have decreasing birth rates as well as much slowly decreasing death rates. And then comes stage 4, where both birth rates and death rates become even slower, so more people live and more for a more longer period of time. And then comes stage 5, wherein the population starts to rise again, which happens because again the birth rates start increasing. So this is like a cycle. So stage 5 again becomes stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. Currently in India we can say that we are in stage 3, because birth rates are falling and death rates are falling more slowly. While if you take European countries or countries like Russia, they have very low birth rates and also low death rates. Then gradually they also enter into stage 5, and then it goes on. This is important because you see, as I said, during stage 1 you have high birth rates, you have very high infectious diseases. What are infectious diseases? Can anybody tell me? Yeah, wonderful. So can you tell some examples of common infectious diseases that you have heard about in your family? Yeah, then more commoner ones.
Common cold.
Common cold, yes. Viral respiratory infections. These are one of the commonest infections. Then you have heard of measles, dengue. All these are infectious diseases or otherwise communicable diseases which go from one person to other person, or one animal to other animal, or one animal to other human being. So all these diseases which go from one living body to another living body are considered as infectious diseases. So the stage 1 is when you have maximum incidence of infectious diseases. The reason why during this phase a lot of people tend to die. As I said, this is the phase where you have both high birth rates as well as high death rates. Then comes second phase, wherein you see there is a decrease in the trend of infectious diseases, which is what has happened in India. We eradicated. Have you heard of leprosy? Leprosy is no more there in India. Have you heard of smallpox, which was there in 1970s and 60s? That is no more there anywhere in the world. So these are some of the examples as to how we have eradicated successfully some of the infectious diseases, thereby improving our survival. That is happening in stage 2. Then comes stage 3. Now, as I said, when people are surviving for a longer duration, are they growing older or they are growing younger? So as we grow older, what are the diseases that we commonly hear from our grandparents or parents? Then sugar is diabetes. Then yeah, then have you heard of heart attack, stroke? So all these are non-communicable diseases. So initially you saw high incidence of infectious diseases or communicable diseases, that is in stage 1. In stage 2, since people are surviving longer without any death happening because of infectious diseases, they are developing lifestyle disorders or non-communicable diseases. So already you have said some of the non-communicable diseases. Here it is mentioned, and most important culprit of all non-communicable diseases is something called obesity. Obesity has already increased exponentially in countries like US, European countries, but in India it is ever increasing, since the kind of population that we have going ahead. We will be seeing more and more patients suffering from obesity, and that leads to various other diseases. All these are interconnected. Somebody with obesity is always at risk for cancer, diabetes, heart disease. So obesity is like king of all evils. Then during stage 4, as I said, because of increased life expectancy and medical advances, you always tend to see these patients suffering from more and more non-communicable diseases. And then again in stage 5, because of increasing population, overcrowding, you see again a resurgence of infectious diseases. So this is like a cycle. As I said, right now we are in stage 3 and stage 4, which is the phase where you have more and more non-communicable diseases coming up, of which cancer is also one of the important non-communicable diseases. Does cancer spread from one person to other person? Have you heard of any patient like that? Does diabetes go from one person to other? You're nodding your head. No, right? Diabetes, will it go? So here is the definition: a disease that is not transmitted by one person or a vector. Vector is an animal or an insect that carries the disease from one individual to the other. So these are caused by how people live, which is what he said, lifestyle, and conditions that they are born with, or environmental hazards. They are not spread by contact because most are not caused by germs. Instead, they are all happening because of our own lifestyle. So these are the differences between non-communicable and communicable diseases. As I said, communicable diseases are sudden onset. You see fever happen suddenly, or it happens over many years. Your respiratory infections, do they happen over many years? Sudden. While diabetes, does it happen all of a sudden? Just today you randomly come with that? No. So it evolves over a period of time. So that's what, as I said, non-communicable diseases are always gradual in onset, and they do not have a single cause. For example, you have dengue. It has single cause, which is dengue virus, which is causing the infection. While you have non-communicable diseases like diabetes or obesity, which have multiple causes, be it sedentary lifestyle. What do you understand by sedentary lifestyle? Can somebody, or mic kodi, third roll. Second. Whatever you understand, you tell. What do you mean by sedentary lifestyle?
The lifestyle we live.
What do you mean by sedentary?
I didn't understand the term, sir.
Sedentary means you are stationary, you are not moving around, you are not actively involved in any physical activity. So that is sedentary lifestyle. So sedentary lifestyle is something that puts you at risk for non-communicable diseases or lifestyle disorders. Then you also have long natural history. As I said, these disorders evolve over many years time, and also these disorders require prolonged treatment. Have you heard of anybody taking treatment for dengue for years? Have you heard of patients taking treatment for diabetes for years? So that is what it is. Then here care predominates. Here care is only for a short period of time, but for non-communicable diseases, the patient has to take care for a long period of time. And it is multidisciplinary often, because diabetes is not just a single entity, it comes with various other complications. It affects your vision, it puts you at risk for various infections, it affects your nerves, it increases the risk of cardiac diseases, stroke, everything. And these patients require prolonged follow-up, and quality of life after treatment is also important in these disorders. Now these are the list of common lifestyle diseases that we see, of which you even have cancer, and also some other disorders like depression, which is something that we ignore. We don't tend to discuss as much as we do when it comes to other lifestyle disorders, but that is also something very important, and all these are interconnected. Obesity increases the risk of cancer, obesity increases the risk of diabetes, diabetes increases the risk of heart disease and cancer, hypertension increases the risk of heart disease. So everything is like interconnected. You don't have one entity that is increasing the risk of the other entity. And as I said, these are the characteristics we already discussed. This is the incidence of obesity currently all over the world, but in India, unfortunately, it is even higher. Once upon a time, most of our parents or grandparents' profession used to be what? Farming. So farming already is giving you some kind of physical activity. So all of them used to be very stern and sturdy without any pot belly. But today we are more and more into doing desk jobs, white collar jobs. White collar jobs, obviously, what does it do? It decreases your physical activity, and westernization obviously increases your consumption of Western diet. I'm not saying all Western diet is bad, but whatever we have adopted in India, uh, considering that as in vogue or in trend dietary habits is something bad. For example, pizza, burger, all these, if at all they contain those substances or ingredients that increase your calorie consumption, it increases the risk of obesity and other non-communicable diseases. And this is much higher in urban areas. Why do you think it is higher in urban areas? Can anybody tell me what is the predominant profession even today in rural India? Yeah. So in urban India, what is the predominant profession? So what does an IT employee do? The reason why you see more and more obesity, more cardiac diseases, more non-communicable diseases in urban population as compared to rural population. That difference is also important. And then there are other uh, lifestyle habits that we adopt which automatically increase the risk of cancer. So of which the commonest used one or abused one is tobacco. Has anybody heard of tobacco? What is tobacco? It's not a drug. What is it? Those are leaves, tobacco leaves. So tobacco is consumed in various forms. One is smoking, which is the commonest tobacco form of tobacco consumed in southern part of India. But if you go to northern parts of India, you have various other non-smoking forms of tobacco, like before every movie it is shown in theaters. Gutka, pan. So all those are chewable forms of tobacco, which again increase the risk of cancer. Both smoking as well as chewable form of tobacco increase the risk of cancer. So that is something which we adopt in our lives that increase the risk of cancer. Then second thing is alcohol. What cancer do you think alcohol increases? Wonderful. Liver cirrhosis in itself is a separate disease, but alcohol consumption increases the risk of liver cancer. Apart from that, it also increases the risk of stomach cancer, colon cancer, breast cancer. So all the cervical cancer, all these cancers increase because of alcohol consumption. And also smoking increases the risk of, then, yeah, then throat cancer. From head to toe, almost all cancers happen because of smoking. You have gastric cancer, which happens because of smoking, colon cancer, pancreatic cancer. All these cancers happen because of smoking. So these are something that, this is what I was discussing. So fast foods, these soda containing drinks, all these are hazardous to our health, which we need to cut down if we are doing it in excess amounts. Once in a while is okay, we need to have fun, we need to go out, party with our friends, but that partying should not be so frequent that it increases your risk of developing cancer. So these are the food habits. We discussed about lifestyle habits such as smoking, tobacco, uh, alcohol consumption, but food habits, as I said, food that contains dietary artificial ingredients. For example, if you see some of your kitchen commonly used uh, colors in your kitchen, they are all artificially colored. Some of the drinks that you buy, for example, Rasna or Maza, all these drinks contain artificial colors. These are something which are hazardous to your health in the long run. Once or twice will never increase risk of anything, but if you are consuming it repeatedly, definitely it increases the risk of cancer. That is artificial ingredients. Some of the food, the canned foods or ready to eat foods contain artificial sweeteners and artificial preservatives. So all these increase the risk of developing cancer. And high calorie intake, as I was saying earlier, if your intake is disproportionately higher than your energy consumed, it again increases the risk of obesity or other non-communicable diseases. Then alcohol and cancer risk we already discussed. Sedentary lifestyle we discussed. Now we have iPad, mobile, everything in our hands. Rather than reading books, we are doing that more. Even I do that. So obviously our risk of not being mobile as much as how our ancestors used to do is higher. The reason why we are not fit and as fit as what our ancestors of our age used to be. So we need to keep a check on all these aspects. You have to increase your physical activity, cut down your calorie consumption. If at all for 1 week or 10 days, if you expect that you are not going to spend your energy as much as you do on other days, you reduce your food intake also, nothing is going to happen. So this is about sedentary lifestyle. As I said, increased use of technology, and also another important point that earlier the commonest mode of travel used to be walking from one area to the other area. But now even if you want to travel 1 kilometer, you take out your two-wheeler, go to the shop, purchase whatever you want and come back. So your mobility is restricted even otherwise also in your day-to-day activities apart from work. And also stress. Stress is one of the important factors which I also personally feel a lot of Indian students are put through because of the competition that we have. There are too many students and too little opportunities that we have, but unfortunately within those opportunities we need to grab some or the other one. The reason why we are put through enormous amount of stress at different phases of life. As a student, you are always after getting meritorious, more and more meritorious. Your parents would say 95% is not sufficient, you get 98%. Then once you get into college, you are under the pressure of going into a better engineering college or a better medical college or any other professional college. Then once you are in the job, you have your peers who are always there to overtake you. You are always having that pressure on you. So at every phase of life you are, and then a little later in your life you get family pressure added to it. So at every phase of life, Indians are put through enormous amount of pressure, and that again increases the risk of us going through the stress, which increases BP. It alters our habit, because obviously if you have lack of time, your entire time is consumed by your job demand. You will not have time for any physical activity, you will not have time for any dietary modifications. You depend on fast food, you want something that is very quick, easy to prepare and easy to consume. So that is happening. And then you have sleep disturbances also. If you have some exam coming up, or if you have monthly or yearly targets that you want to reach in, if at all you go ahead and join some IT company, you would obviously get targets, right? So you always have that pressure. So sleep is disturbed, you may have to travel very frequently, and all these might result in something called depression, and all this would ultimately lead to various other health problems which are mentioned here, and ultimately these lead to different non-communicable or lifestyle disorders. So if you see what are the risk factors of cancer, of these, barring these three, genetics, sun exposure and radiation, rest all, unhealthy food, age, tobacco smoking, alcohol, excess body weight, even you can eliminate age, rest all are because of our lifestyle that we adopt. So it is very important to keep a check on the type of lifestyle that we are leading. As I said, all those factors which make us more sedentary, make us spend less and less energy, should be curtailed. So then this is very important. You may think that one of your friends is smoking and you are not at risk for cancer, only your friend is at risk. That is not true. If you are standing and spending a lot of time with your friend, you are also indirectly inhaling whatever he is exhaling, and that enters into your lungs and increases the risk of lung cancer in you as well. So that is called second hand smoking. Then there is something called third hand smoking, which is for example, you go to a smoking room in a bar or a pub, if at all you have gone, you will see those tables over there. If you smoke and you drop the ash over that table, and if you touch and inhale that, if some non-smoker goes and touches that and inhales it, that also increases the risk of lung cancer. That is called third hand smoking. So it is first, second and third, all these individuals are at risk for lung cancer because of the tobacco. So these are the various cancers that tobacco can cause. I have told you from head to toe, any organ can be affected by tobacco related cancer. So these are some of the guidelines that we say. We need not discuss guidelines. As I said, we already know what to do. We need to avoid excessive energy consumption disproportionate to what is required for us on that particular day. Second, we need to maintain a balanced diet which includes lot of fruits, vegetables, fiber rich diet, and eat less of red meat. You can have more of eggs. So these are some of the dietary modifications that we make. And second, physical activity modifications. We need to make sure that we run or jog or some kind of physical activity. You can do swimming, you can do cycling, whatever it is, some kind of physical activity should be there for half an hour every day for weekly 5 days at least. And this has to be consistent. If you do for 5 days, you join gym getting motivated by some gym video posted on YouTube for 5 days, and then you just stop attending the gym, doesn't make any sense. So your efforts should not just be motivated, they should be consistent. That is about physical activity. So one is dietary modification. You need to reduce the consumption of junk food, fast food, deep fried food, red meat. Increase your diet which is rich in vegetables, fruits, and fiber. You can have milk products. All these are safe and good for your health. And also uh, you have to have small meals at different intervals. Rather than having 3 bulky meals, you can just split your meals into every 2-3 hours. Once you can have small amount of meals, so that whatever you are having is consumed in those 2-3 hours, rather than you are just sitting at one place having a heavy meal and then sleeping. Then you have to avoid alcohol and tobacco, stay away from them. Even if it is social drinking, it still increases the risk of cancer, so you better stay away from it. As I said, plant predominant diet. These are the foods, as I said, that fight the cancer. You need to divide your plate like this. So 2/3 of your plate should be veggies. Veggies means different types of vegetables, salads, and cereals. And another 1/3 of your food should contain animal protein. If you are a vegetarian, you can replace it with plant protein like soya chunks, paneer, etc. Yeah, these are various vitamins. It's not just about increasing the risk of cancer. If you are having vitamin B12 deficiency, you will develop various problems like neuropathy, which is, it damages basically your nerves, so that it hampers your ability to walk, it hampers to your ability to sense what is happening under your feet or what you are touching. You have various other vitamin deficiencies that lead to various other complications, compromising your quality of life. So you need to have a balanced meal. Your meal should also contain various minerals. It should be rich in magnesium, that is there in the beans. Then you have potassium, which is rich in spinach. You have sweet potatoes, which are rich in potassium again. Bananas are rich in potassium. So these are some of the important aspects that are related to dietary modification. And also fiber rich food, which is derived from plants, is very important. So that again you need to make sure. And you these are some of the tips to uh, have a balanced breakfast, lunch, and dinner. These are mostly relevant to the Western dietary habits, but all in all, we need to make sure that we have a plant predominant diet. Once in a while consuming meat is okay, but that should not be your only source of meal. It should be a plant predominant diet, and it should be a balanced diet. It should never be only carbohydrates, it should never be only proteins. You should have everything in equal distribution. And also try to avoid heavy meals in the nights. Late in the nights, you try to finish off your dinner by 7:30, 8 o'clock, so that you have around 2 to 3 hours time before you go to bed from your last meal, which prevents a whole lot of problems such as acidity, gastritis, indigestion, and a lot of other problems. And healthy weight, this is very important. We all ignore the importance of checking our weight. Every 3 to 6 months, you make sure that you check your weight and calculate it. You have online calculators. Everybody has a mobile in your hand. You check your height and weight, and make sure that your BMI, there is something called body mass index. The healthy body mass index is 20 to 24.9. You have to make sure that your weight, you cannot modify your height. Whatever has to be grown, you have already grown. Only thing that needs to be modified is your weight. So that is something in your hands. That can be done by adopting all these healthy lifestyle. And you need to make sure that your BMI is 20 to 24.9. Accordingly, you need to modify your weight. Underweight is also not good. Overweight is also not at all good. Yeah, these are various nutritional facts, and this is how a balanced meal has to be. As I said, most of it is relevant to Westerners, but in India also we have a lot of diet that is rich in, as I exemplified earlier, you have a lot of vegetarian sources of food that are rich in protein and carbohydrates and fat. Yeah, this is important. So AICR is a body that recommends moderate physical activity, which is equivalent to brisk walking for at least 30 minutes per day. As fitness improves, you have to make sure that you walk for 60 minutes, or this is brisk walking, remember, which means you walk fast, not your regular walking that you do inside your home, and or more of moderate activity, or 30 minutes of more vigorous activity, which is running, skipping, jogging, all these. And this has to happen at least 5 days a week. You need to make sure that it is happening. So yeah, these are some of the examples. Light intensity walking includes walking slowly, golf, uh, that is not commonly accessible to everybody. You can do gardening or pruning, that again is a light intensity activity. By cycling, then your regular household activities, which we barely do, we always have a maid who is doing that for us, but we need to make sure that once in a while we also do it, so that we stick to our roots and also have some physical activity happening. And moderate intensity activity is, that is walking briskly, playing tennis, or bicycling. And rigorous activities are jogging and running and swimming. So these are the, in a nutshell, whatever I have discussed right now, everything is represented in this image. You need to maintain a proper personal hygiene. You need to take shower daily, wash your hands before you consume something, and get vaccinated. Limit your alcohol, I would say restrict your alcohol consumption completely. Schedule your screenings after 40 years of age. Your regular screening schedules will start yearly once. You need to, if it is a female, you need to undergo mammogram. After 50 years of age, if it is a male, you need to undergo prostate cancer screening. You need to avoid smoking, stay fit, eat healthy, and yeah, that's it. Hope that talk was useful. At least 1 or 2 points could enter uh, into your brains, so that we all try to adopt certain healthy lifestyle practices and reduce the burden of cancer that is increasing with each year exponentially in our country. With increasing population, you are always at, uh, at increased risk of all these non-communicable diseases. Stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. On behalf of HNNCE, I would sincerely thank you very much for the wonderful session. Students, ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದಲ್ಲ ನಿಜಾನೇ ಅದು. So we are forced you to sit in this hall for 1 hour. I know that you are blaming us a lot. We can see in your faces, definitely. But this was a worth lecture in your life, I can tell. So today youths are spoiling, using mobile phone a lot of time, and going to pubs, bars, and having drinks, everything. We can see that. So avoid that. So this was a wonderful session I ever had in my life. So this, whatever the knowledge you gained today, you should share with your friends, relatives, and with your parents also. This would help you a lot. I sincerely believe that health is wealth. If health is gone, everything is gone. So mark these words, it's very important. Got it? So I think this 1 hour has benefited you a lot. So once again, I would like to thank Dr. Suprit sir for giving his valuable time here. He spent 1 hour completely here. With a lot of effort, he has done this. He told me that he was in the clinic till 3:30 p.m. So because of our invitation, he came here with a lot of struggle. See, he's doing a kind of service. We are not paying him anything else. Just on his own decision, he has come here. So again, I would like to request all the students to give a big round of applause to him. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Students, you can disperse now. Thank you very much. Attendance. Don't worry about that. Forget.